over time. So just calm down. If there is any word that you say that you don't understand, just put it in the chat, and we're, we're gonna go over it again. So because the essence of this webinar is to help everybody get started with coding. So it's not as difficult as you think. So it's something that everyone can do. You can enjoy it. So that, like what I always say. So wherever you are, you can join on YouTube. If your Zoom is not working fine, join on YouTube. We're currently streaming live on YouTube, so join there. Also, you can join our Discord server. So if you're not already there, I'm going to share the link. So and you can join us over there too. You can join the Discord server, and it's gonna be fun. So if you have any question whatsoever, you can definitely share over there. Let's try as much as possible to make sure we are muted when we start. Be muted, because it's gonna be more practical today. And we have, let me see, today we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions. So there's a lot of things we want to cover, but I'm going to do them as fast as possible. So after each session, we are going to have something like a question, and then we move to the other session. You understand? So that's how it's gonna work. So don't worry too much. If there is anything you need to understand, just post in the chat, and then I'll be able to answer your question. All right. So let's just wait some minutes more, and then we're gonna get started. I just want more people to join so that we could get started. And also don't forget to join. So I have like a blog, Medium blog, where I write a lot about coding. So it doesn't matter the level where you are, there is one article that's gonna help you there. So try and follow me up on Medium, and then you're able to like get a lot of things, a lot of articles I've written in the past. So they'll be very useful for you. Okay, we'll fix this in the future. Okay, that's the YouTube channel. So for those that will join on YouTube, you can join there. So let me see, we have, we'll start soon. Let's just see where we are. So this is the YouTube channel. To join. Okay, great. I'm going to share my screen over here now. This. if you can see my screen, just say yes in the chat so I can know that you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, just say yes. So wait, no, yeah, that's good, it's 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 good. That is good. So very good. Great. All right, so that is amazing. So one more thing, I think we're going to get started soon. I just want to give more people a little bit of time to like join us. So yeah, it's just looking out for each other. The more the merrier, actually. Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to do some kind of introduction of what we did yesterday. So it's not yesterday, that's a week ago now. I've been very, very tired, really, from work. Yeah, but this just have to go on because there's a lot of opportunity in technology, especially web development. So, and either you are changing career or you're just beginning or you're a soft computer science student. So even if you are an entrepreneur, opportunity on the web is for everyone because having a web application on the website is like a real estate these days. Like before you want to start a business, the first thing you want to do is put money together and have a shop or something like that. But right now, if you have a web front, then you're good to sell anywhere in the world. And that's exactly why having this skill is very important, no matter what your profession is. So I used to say that you don't have to study computer science in school or study any technology related stuff to be able to do these things. So yeah, so if you are on Discord, you can post your question on Discord when we start, and then I'm going to see it. So I'm on all of those platforms. I can see chat from Zoom. I can see chat from Discord. I can see from YouTube also. So that's what I'm doing. So I have all of these screens open so that I'm able to like attend to everyone at the same time. Multitasking because of technology anyway. So it's more easier, right? So yeah. So we are going to start right about 1, 2, 3, and go. Okay. Okay. All right, great. So, sorry, I just check up on people on YouTube so I can see them also, so that everything is well set. So I'm ready now. So the first thing we're going to do is recap of what we did last week. So last week we discussed about tools and all of these things that you will need to get started as a software engineer. So software engineer building for the web. So I actually discussed about web development, the back end, the front end, and all of these different technology you can use for web. And it was really an amazing time actually, with a lot of questions. We spent like 2 hours answering questions, which is really amazing. So, and I share some tools that I use every day. And so my plan today is I hope that you get all of those emails I sent forward to prepare yourself for this task ahead. So probably today, I said that we'll be using VS Code for coding. So VS Code is called an IDE. So an IDE means integrated development environment. So that is what VS Code is. So IDE, IDE, I know most of us know what it is. So IDE, it means integrated development environment. So integrated, okay, integrated development environment. So they are basically tools that help us to be able to write our code. So as a software engineer, as a web developer, app developer, you need an environment to be able to write your code. So just like if you're doing, if you're an architect, and so you are able to build 3D architectural stuff with ArchiCAD. So a software engineer also need an environment that help them to write code. So that is what the IDE is all about. So for this, I said I recommended VS Code. And why I recommended VS Code, this is VS Code. So I'm going to take us through how VS Code work and and all that. So this is VS Code. You can download and install this. It's easy to use. It's really amazing. So after you download and install VS Code, so this VS, just like you have I've changed this color to give us high contrast so that you can see what I'm doing. So but my default, after installation, and I do I can go to code here, go to preferences and say color theme. So normally I use this night owl. So okay, that is the light version. Let me see. Preferences, color theme. So light owl lights. So we have night owl. Okay, this is the main one I use. So this is what I use normally to code, like the theme. So but because I'm recording, I want to make it more brighter so that we can see. So there are different kinds of these themes you can use. You can even download new ones and use them. So I'll show you how to do that. So let me just return it back to color theme, and then I'll choose light, Visual Studio again. Okay, so this is what we're doing. And then we have all your files here. So these are all your files. So you can search, you have run and debug, you have remote explorer if you are working with other developers, and then we have these extensions. So there are different kinds. You see, I just installed this extension not quite long, because when I was coding in HTML, I was like, okay, how am I going to like immediately preview the code I wrote so that you guys can see it instantaneously? Then I just searched HTML preview, and I saw this amazing plugin that somebody wrote, and then I use it. So when I start coding, you see it, how it works. It's really amazing. So, and that is the power of VS Code. Why I love it so much is because I use it. I do .NET. I can use .NET. I do PHP. I use it for Python. So it has extension for Java, GraphQL, like a lot of these extensions. So, but this is not what, this is the Night Owl I was using. You can see these are installed extensions. So Night Owl is the theme I'm using by Sarah Drasner. So she's an amazing designer, a software engineer. So I use that on the daily basis when I'm coding. So, and also use Prettier and everything. So, but don't worry too much about all of this extension. I have a very nice article on Medium that shows you extensions that you can use on VS Code. And definitely I'm going to be sharing all the resources that you're going to be using with VS Code when we get started. So aside from that VS Code give you an editor. You see, this is an editor file. So I can create a new file here. Maybe I would say contact.html. and then VS Code is going to create it, and I have all these things. So here, and you can create a new project. So you can create a new file from here, new window. You can add a new workspace. There are a lot of things you can do with VS Code. So it's really easy, just like using your Microsoft Word, but this time for writing code. You use Microsoft Word for typing, right? But you use VS Code for writing your code. So all of this HTML extension and everything, I'm going to explain all that very soon. So, but for now, just understand how VS Code work. So, and also VS Code has its own terminal. So we are going to talk about terminal next. So this is a terminal inbuilt inside VS Code. Maybe we are even going to use this to do some of the things we are going to be doing. So, it's really, really cool. So let me close this out, and that's it. So if you close, you can close it and then you can reopen it back. So if you have it, if you have VS Code right now, just explore it, create a new file, create a new folder. This is a new folder I created, web, you understand, and then all of these files are inside. And you can even open a new folder. If I said open right now, if I said open, you see, and then it takes me to this folder I am in. So I can go to desktop and then open the folder again. So it's already open already, but I'm just showing you the way you can open a new folder you created. And you can even create an empty folder and then you open it, and then you are able to create all of these files just like I created here. And even in the directory, you can also create a new folder directory. Like say in this web folder, I want to create a new folder called images. I can create it images, and I create it there. You can see this is a new folder. So all of the images I want to use for this website can go inside this image folder. So we are going to discuss more about organizing your website pages and folders very soon. But for this, it's just the way HTML VS Code works, and it's really amazing software. So aside from VS Code, there is Atom. If you want to explore other ones, there is Atom, there is WebStorm. They are really amazing too. So but WebStorm, I think they have the free version, which is the community version, and then they have the paid version that you have to pay for to be able to work. So that's amazing. If you're on YouTube, kindly like the sessions, and then you can please share so that other of your network can join us, and it will really help the community to grow. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So if you have any question, Windows and code tab. Okay, yeah. So the reason is that I'm on Apple, so you'll be able to see VS Code works differently because it's on Apple. So if you are using Windows, don't worry too much. The changes will not be much. Maybe you may not have this code here that show you present. Maybe you just go to Windows file or something, you'll be able to see that. But aside from that, don't worry too much if you are using Windows. So just explore it. It's really easy. You can't break anything, you understand. So don't worry too much about that. So I think that's that about VS Code. If you have any questions about VS Code, you can drop it now in the chat, definitely. So but if general question will be available at the end of the session where we can have conversation. But right now, if you have any question, just drop it in the chat. So if you said, can we connect to web directory directly? Yeah, so in VS Code, I'm going to show you, you can actually connect to web directly. So for instance, so VS Code have this inbuilt extension called live share. You can see it, live share. So you can use it to like preview. Let me see. Let me quickly do something. I will just write a simple HTML page that we can just use to be able to practice. Well, I just the way HTML5 works. So let's say we have this. We have this, and then we have that. Then we have this contact page, and then we have this. Though we don't need CSS now, we have the enclose, and then we have the body, and then we have H1. So we don't go to that too much. but I'll just do like h1 tag, h1 tag, okay, and then do welcome, and then make this. So don't worry about all of these tags. I'm definitely going to explain them to you very soon, but I just want to like respond to a question somebody asked. Yeah, so you can, Prince, you can use VS Code for any language. Right now is because I'm doing HTML. That is why it's giving you all this support for HTML. So, but right now if I like preview, you can see open. I say open live server. Yeah, the extension is called live server. So if I open this live server, I can preview this web page I just created here very fast. You understand? I can preview it, and then VS Code is going to load it. So I'll just show you here so you can see that it's loaded. You can see welcome. So that is it, and it's so easy to see. You can see the title coming up here, welcome. So let me close this. But what I did is I install an extension that make it easy. So if I click here now, so you'll be able to see this code here, the h1 tag welcome is showing up here immediately. So this is what we are going to be using today, so that as I'm coding, we can see the output of our code directly here. You understand? So, but let me close this. This is just for demonstration. If you don't understand anything here, don't fret, don't worry. I'm going to explain them one after the other. So I'll just close this. So for the person that asked the question that, okay, yeah, definitely, yeah. So the question I'm answering right now is just for VS Code. So at the end of the day, we can skip. So you may not, if you have like a different computer you want to practice on while you watch me, you can be using your VS Code and practice now. Or the best thing is that I would say that just pay your attention now, take notes, and immediately after the class, you understand, just and go and practice everything. You understand? So, and I want to implore all the senior, intermediate, senior engineers in the chat and in the video, so try and answer some questions that I may miss. So like Nelson is doing is really good. So there are some questions that are like easy, you already know them, so help them to answer it. So that is the essence. So what we are doing right now, some of you may have know it already, so the best thing you will do is help those who don't know it as they ask questions, just reply to them. So that way you are like doing reinforcement learning and mentoring. So that's how all of us are going to be learning. You understand? So I can't be answering all the questions at the same time. Yeah, so you understand. So but the last question I want to answer here before I move forward is that, can VS Code work with other programming language? Yes. So for instance, I've created this HTML. Let's create a JavaScript file. So I'll just do file, I'll call it test.js. So you can see immediately that I get this JavaScript icon here, and you immediately know that this is a JavaScript code. You understand? So if I do for instance, let's say we are setting a variable name, so immediately you know that, yeah, this is a JavaScript code, and you can see this well, everything is the color and everything. You know that this is the value, you know that, yeah, this is the assignment name, and then this is the variable declaration. So, and that is how it works. So I hope that yeah, that's it. So that's the thing. So when you know something and you teach other people, you get better. So And also, there are some things we're going to be doing today. Like, uh, I'm going to be showing you like real struggles, real things that people do. As I was sharing today on Facebook, like software engineering is about figuring things out. And that is the mindset I want every one of you to have. I'm going to discuss this more in full next week. So the mindset of figuring things, you understand? The mindset of figuring things out, you understand? And then you can do that. So let me just see, let me do this, if it's gonna. So where is Node.js? So you can use VS Code to just run your code directly here. You understand? So run without debugging. So because normally like you can run it on Chrome if you want, or you can run it with Node.js. I talked about Node.js last week, about that Node.js is actually like a JavaScript environment that we use on the server. You understand? So don't let us waste our time too much brains on running this JavaScript code. You already know what it does, just like assign the declared variable. But because that is not our goal for today, so I won't want to like confuse the beginners too much doing this. But this is just like explain to you that yes, you can run HTML, PHP, Java, whatever, C++ using VS Code, and it's absolutely free. And it has tons and tons of extension that you can install to make your life better. Okay, and that's it. That's it about VS Code. So we're going to start the next session now. It's called terminal. So using the terminal. How many of you have heard about the terminal before? Just type yes. If you use the command prompt or the terminal before. If you use it, yeah. I want to see like how many people. So installing extension is easy in VS Code. You just go to extension and then you search extension. You can see. So if I said like Java extension, or let me just type Java something. So you can see it will bring out different kind of Java stuff. So I can click on this. So language support for Java. Then like 11 million people are using this Java latent IntelliSense formatting and stuff. Maybe this makes a lot of sense. And then you can just like click here and it will install. So that's it. Don't worry about installing extension and stuff like that. I have a good article that will help you on that. Yeah, command prompt and the terminal is basically the same thing. Agnes, don't worry at all. Just keep following. I like the fact that you take the courage to be part of the class. So by the time you hear all these things, in time they will start like make sense to you. Don't worry at all. So you remember I told a story last week about how I taught my wife how to use Scratch overnight, and she teach it to some students. So it doesn't even have any programming experience at all. So it's about the mind. So command prompt and terminal are the same thing, and this is how you install extension in VS Code. That easy. So I get that out and then I close this. So the terminal is this is just this black thing that a lot of people see and I'm like, wow, what is this? This is hard, this is difficult, this is this. So what I wanted to do is to be able to like explain and give us some like quick overview of how the terminal works and what we are going to be doing with it. So don't be scared about the terminal at all. So it's something that we're going to cover today. So great. So let me just take this out and okay. So okay, so um all right, so it's okay. So now, so this is the terminal, or in, we call it command prompt. So in the early days of the computer, before we started having all these fantastic, amazing graphics we all see, we can point with mouse, click stuff. So all this click and everything we are seeing, we call it GUI. We call it GUI. If someone can just help me type the full meaning of GUI for them, so that everyone can know what it is. So we have this GUI, graphical user interface. So before we have that in computing world, so what we have in the beginnings was this black box, this terminal. So this is what people used to like do a lot of the things they're doing in computer. So after that, we now have GUI. So with GUI, people can then use mouse, point and click, and things like that. We can do sophisticated things. But then, as a programmer or a web developer, there are some simple tasks you're going to be doing that you don't want to be like clicking to do. Number one, like creating folder, or moving from one directory to another, navigation. So let me show you what I mean about that. So I'm going to open a folder for instance now. I'm going to open a folder to just show you that so this is a folder. I'm going to go to my desktop. So you see, when I go to this desktop, everything I see here, this desktop, responsive, all this folder here, if I click on this folder, you can see this contact HTML, this image folder. Even I can still create a new folder here. You see, create a new folder, and I would name it videos. Let's say we want to have videos for our in our website. I can say, okay, this folder is videos. So you can see like all of these things I'm doing, moving from one folder to another, creating a new folder. You can actually do it quickly without having to like pick up your mouse and click, because you are coding with your keyboard. And then I want to like create a folder. I have to like leave that place and then go outside of that place and then come back to create a folder again, right click, create folder, this and that. So that is why what command line can help us do quickly. And aside from that, you're going to be using what I call Git, that we are going to be talking about before the end of this class today. And Git actually is, you're going to be coding a lot to be able to like write some command to interact with your Git directory. So, and all of these things I just did now, creating this video, you can actually do the same thing with command line. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing. So let's see how we can create a folder with command line. So right now, this directory here, web, I'm in the same place, web, on the command line right now. You can see web is the same thing. So if I want to see everything that is listed in this web directory, what I need to do, and okay, I don't want to confuse you too much. I'm going to share resources. These for especially people that are using Windows. So these are command line prompts for Windows. Yeah, so Yetunde, don't worry too much. Don't feel like it's magic. It's not magic at all. So I know that the command line used to be very scary to a lot of people, because you just see a lot of these black things and this like, what is this, for goodness sake? It's not that scary. These things are the same thing you see in this folder here. Web, you can see this web here is the same thing that is here. Web is the same thing, just that we're just using different interface to interact with it. You understand? So if you are like a window user, go to that thing I share with you. Is really amazing article. So on command, because the command for window, I'll just explain why the command for window and and command for Windows and for HTML and for Linux are different is because Windows, Linux, Mac OS is actually like directly from Linux. So we have all of these kernel, Linux kernel. That is what Mac OS is built upon. So the way Windows works in its own different way. You understand? So, but right now, if you are using Windows 10, Windows 10 have had Linux kernel inside them. Yeah, so that's very good. Thank you, Busui, for explaining that. So we have different kind of operating systems. So we have Windows, right? And we have Linux, and we have Unix. So Unix is the beginning of computer, like it's like the mother, like of all of them. From Unix we have Linux, and from Linux Mac OS, Ubuntu, all of them branch out. But Windows is the one that a little bit stand out a little bit for himself. You understand? But right now, if you're using Windows 10, you can also access Linux terminal on Windows 10. So, but this thing is not something that I want you to like know 100% today. But I just want you to be aware of it. You understand? But you can still create all your folder manually when you are building your web. So don't be distracted by this. But it's very important that you know that all this command line code exists. So now if I do ls now, so you can see the same directory here: contact, first, HTML, images and videos. Can you see them? The same thing is showing up here. It's just the same thing. ls means list of the directory, like show me this directory. Oh, please, you can mute for now. If you have any question, just put it in the chat so that we don't distract each other. So after this session, we're going to have conversation about all of these things, and you can even explain, give your own thoughts about them and how all of this thing works. So you can see that we have contact, HTML of this. For instance, I can go inside images. So I can go to, like, if I say cd, so if I say cd and I say cd images, so what I'm saying is go to this current directory called images. You see, that's where I said you wanted to go, cd images, and it's currently inside images. So now inside images, I can say, like, okay, I want to create a new folder called profile images. So I can say make directory, make directory. So that one's like create a new directory for me called profile dash images. So if I list what is there now, you can see now we have profile images. If I go into this folder also and I go to images, can you see profile images? That's just it. That's the command line. So I won't do too much today so that I won't confuse a lot of people, but then that is just what the command line is doing. So we have another session on Git, so you're going to see more on what command line does. And at some point when you're working in web development, you need to install some packages for your HTML, for your JavaScript code, for React, for Node, and all of those things. You will need command line to be able to install all of those environments. You understand? So, but for a beginner introduction to terminal, I think this is good enough. So, and then I can still go backward. See, cd ... means go up one directory, so go outside. So then we are back inside the web. So I hope that helped some people. And then if your screen is so messy like this, you can just do cls clear like that, and then yeah, cls I think on Windows, and then clear on Mac. Sometimes some of these prompts are different from one another, so you can always choose the one that works for you. So, but that article I shared, we explain everything you need for if you are using Windows command prompt, and if you are using iOS, the same thing I'm using here will just work for you. So, and I will share more articles on using the terminal, but at least this is a very good introduction to how the terminal works. So if you have any questions about the terminal, just put it on this. We are going to the meat of today's talk, which is HTML now. So just type your question and people will actually help you to answer them. So if you have any concerns, if you have anything that you don't get, so just ask, and then you'll be able to get help. So I've shared the article on Discord, so I'll share it here again. So I'll share there, and I've shared it on YouTube. Yeah, so that's great. Fine. So yeah, that's good. So today we are going to go to the meat of today's conversation, and so that I'm going to close this terminal so that people don't get scared about it. So if you are ready for HTML, say yes in the chat so I can know that yes, we're ready. You're ready. Say yes. Are we tired? Yes, let's learn some HTML and start building something on the web. Okay. Okay, not tired. That's good. That's good. That's good. So HTML is an amazing language. Is it a programming language? Some said no, it's not a programming language. Some said yes, it is a programming language. It's an amazing conversation we also have in the community about HTML. Like, is it a programming language? No, it's not a programming language. It's a markup language. There is that. No, but yeah. So some people say it's not a programming language. So I want to say who agrees HTML is a programming language and who doesn't agree. Do you think HTML is a programming language or is not? What camp are you standing on? Who are you supporting? It's not or it is? So let's see from the chat. Do you believe HTML is a programming language or is not? It's not. Everybody's like it's not. It's not a programming language. Okay, it's a markup language. So I think someone can just help us define what HTML is. What's HTML? What's it about? So HTML is really an amazing technology. It's really cool. So HTML is called hypertext markup language. So HTML5 is a markup language used for structuring and presenting content on the World Wide Web. So it is the fifth and the last major HTML version. So that is a World Wide Web Consortium recommendation. So HTML means hypertext markup language. So before we used to have like different versions of HTML, like just like we have CSS, CSS1, CSS2, CSS3, and things like that. And then the last version was HTML5. So, but I think after HTML5, they stop having HTML this and that. Now they've made it like a standard. Like, okay, it's just going to be like HTML, and then any other improvement, every other addition we're going to be adding to HTML will be adding to HTML5, which is just HTML. So there is a standard. There is this group of people that come together that set this standard for HTML. So they call them World Wide Web Consortium. So they are a group of engineers, researchers, PhDs, prof, like smart people in the world, smarter than I do, engineers in big corporations. So all of them comes together and determine that, okay, this tag is going to do this tag is going to do this. And that is what a lot of people don't understand in programming, especially when you are looking from the outside. You'll be like, okay, all of these tags, everything, do people just like magically bring them out of their brains? No, it doesn't work that way. So they are standard, just like languages. People in the community agree, indirectly or directly, that okay, this is going to be called water bottle, and then everybody agrees it's water bottle everywhere. In English, water bottle. In Yoruba, they have another name for it. In Hausa, they have another. But everybody in that community know that if you say this, they know what you're talking about. And that is the agreement. And that is the same thing with programming language or markup languages. So people just come together and like, if you see this tag, this is what it does. If you see this tag, that is what it does. And that is it. That is the way markup languages work all over the world. And even every other programming languages, Python, Java, they are all standards that people have put together, that this is the way, this is the standard, this is the syntax, this is the grammatical way of writing this language. And then when you learn that standards, you can apply it to write anything. Just like everything you need in English language is A to Z. And you can see people that can write amazing poems, putting words together in the different ways. And the same way with technology. You just learn the construct and the standards of this language, and then you are able to use them. So HTML also have all of these tags. We call them HTML tags. So what you are using HTML to do is to structure the way your website look. So HTML doesn't give you color, fancy text and everything. No, it just gives you the layout and the structure. It's like a skeletal system of your web application. And today, what we are going to do is I will run you through most of the important tags of HTML5 that we are going to be using. And then after that, we can just maybe put together a simple web page, like maybe a blog page, for instance. And then we can see how that works. So are we ready? Yeah, so the platform that puts all of this together for HTML, they are called the World Wide Web Consortium. So that's what they're named. So who is ready to learn HTML syntax? Are we ready now? So let's go. If you are ready, type yes again so that we know that yes, we are not sleeping. Let's type yes and yes and yes and yes, so that we're not sleeping. Okay. So what I'm going to do, before I've already created this, before we get started, I've created this folder structure called web. You can see it already. So I'll just go to my desktop. I'll just show you. So you see this. So it's actually easy to do. Let me just delete this, and I'll move this to bin, and then I'll try it again from beginning. So I'm going to create a new folder, and then I'm going to name it web. So in this folder, that is where everything we are going to be doing in our HTML is going to live. And then what I'm going to do is go to open my VS Code. I'll go to file and I'll say open. So when I said open, so I'll go to my desktop, and this one file folder, I'll just open it, and that's all. So I've opened it now. So I'll create my first HTML page. I say new file. I'll call it index.html. So for the senior people in the chat, why do I name this index? What does it signify? So when you name a page index in your HTML directory or your HTML folder, What does it mean? What does that signify? So yeah, so it means that this is going to be the first page that our domain of our website will be. You know, like every house have a front door. If you come to my house, you can't go in from the backyard. So when you come to my house, you get to the front door and you knock. So if I go to facebook.com, how do facebook.com know the first page to present to me? There is no magic about it. It's just a standard that has been set in the way programming works. That if you name a file index.html, when there is a request sent to your server, for instance, if you go to peterironing.org or my website peterironing.dev, what determines the first page that you see is this index.html. So because it is the index page, is the first page that is going to be loaded. And that's it. You can have 100 pages, 1000 pages. None of them will load first except the index page. Okay, so who can answer that question? Why do we have the dot before HTML? Why do we have these dots before HTML? So that's a very good question that's been asked. So every language have, or I would say has, an extension, or you can call it like a directive, or like something like that signifies like, okay, this file is an HTML file. So how will I know? I can create any folder in this place, any file. Let me just name this gibberish. Create another one. Can you see the difference? All these are just like files. They mean nothing to the computer. The computer is like, what does this even mean? It doesn't know. So is this .html that gives computer direction that treat this file for me, please, as an HTML file? And that's the thing. Computer is very dumb. Very, very, very dumb. Very, very, very dumb. So that's why we say garbage in, garbage out. What you give to the computer, that is what is going to give you back. So index.html, the dot extension signifies this file we are going to be working on is an HTML file. Look at all of these files that I've created now. They did nothing because it doesn't even know what they mean. So it's not doing anything to them. So I'll just get rid of them because they are useless to us right now. Okay, so I'll click and good. So now that we name this index.html, it means something to the computer, and the computer knows, this is an HTML file. So, but then what do I need to do? So I'm not going to be working with an empty file. So know that this is here. So I just want to like create a lot of space. I will close this Explorer. You can always come back to it. You see the Explorer, open and close. It's like on the sidebar. So I'm doing this so that we can create more room, and then let me zoom in a little bit more so that we can see what we're doing. Good. And so now we have this index.html, but this index.html will not help us much. So how can we tell the computer, okay, this file that is an HTML file, I want to start writing code that is going to signify this is an HTML document itself. I know that .html means an HTML file, but inside the document, if I start typing like this, does this mean anything? If I said I'm just typing all of this, this doesn't mean anything. So if I go to preview, for instance, and want to preview this, you see, yeah, I have all of these tests the same way, but I can't do much. I just have all of those gibberish. There is no difference in any way. So how can I tell my HTML, this is supposed to be bold, this is supposed to be a big font, this is supposed to be italic, this is supposed to be an image, this is supposed to be this is supposed to be the head, this is supposed to be on the side. So, and that is where HTML tags come from. So we have HTML tags that tell HTML what they need to be, what they need to do, and how they need to present themselves. We can't just be typing all of this gibberish here and expect the website to just like magically produce themselves. No. So we as a programmer, we as a coder, this is where our job comes in. We said, okay, we want this website to be able to be like this, be like that, to be able to have this content and that content, and this is how we want to structure them. Okay, think about how you are building, you are writing Microsoft documents. You know, when you are typing, you said this one should be bold, this one should be italic, this should be colored like this, should be to be justified, should be to be left, should be to be right. The same way you type on your document and you define all of these characteristics, the same way you are going to be doing for your web pages, but you are coding it yourself. But the thing that your Microsoft document is doing for you behind the scene is writing HTML for you behind the scene so that you don't have to do it. You understand? But now, as a software engineer, you need to build a custom software, a custom website. And that is why they pay you thousands of dollars every month to do that. You understand? Because you are expert on how to instruct the computer to give you what you want. And that is how we have all of these HTML tags. So how does this even work? HTML are categorized into like 2-3 different categories. I'm going to share that with us very fast. So at the top of every HTML page, you have to have what we call this doc type. So if you have this doc type, we call it doc type, HTML. So this is the first thing you want to have at the top of every of your HTML tag. You're like, what does this really mean? It's just like a standard when HTML5 comes on board. So for every HTML5 page, you have that doc type there. So now for any HTML pages that want to take advantage of the new addition to the HTML programming language or the tags, should have doc type HTML at the top. So another thing you can see, the advantage of using an IDE is that you can get some kind of suggestion or IntelliSense. What you are seeing on my screen right now, that HTML lang in is an IntelliSense suggesting to me what else you need to type, which is good. So you can also have, we also have HTML. So that is now the beginning of your HTML body. And then you can determine what is the language that you want your HTML to be written in. Yeah, that is now individual language. English, it can be France, it can be whatever. So then you have what we call the head. And we won't go into all of these methods yet, but we're going to do that later. So I'm going to close the head. Right, and then we have here the title. So because I just want to give us everything we need in the beginning. So now, before we go too far, this is how it is. So we have this at the top. You can see this doesn't have, you just have this thing here, double angled. Let me separate them out a little bit. And then we have this HTML tag that have a closing tag. You can see, very important. This HTML opens and then it closes here. So the close have a backslash. So that is how you close an HTML tag. So there are different kind of tags. There are some tags that are self-closing. We are going to talk about them. There are some tags that you have to open them and then you close them. So we open HTML, we close HTML. We open head, we close head. We open title, we close title. And any document or anything we want to put in the middle, we put there. So this title you see here is what we show on top of your web page. So it's be the title of that page. Sometimes you go to a website, on the browser bar, you see a title there. So this is the title that will show up. And after that, we have this section called body. So body also it has like opening tag body and closing tag body. And this is the gist. Everything that is going to show up in the content of your web page, all of them will be located in this body. Can you see that? So if you want to preview, you can preview using live server. It comes with HTML or VS Code by default, or you can use this extension I'm using. So it's called HTML preview. You can just type in extension and you search for it and install it. You understand? So that's it. So if you right click on your code and you click on open with live share, VS Code will open a web browser for you automatically. So if you are a senior, like in the chat, just help people, explain to people how they can quickly open what they've coded. So if I click on save here, for instance, if I click on save, but before we go, let's add something to this body. I told you that everything you see in this body is what is going to show up on your web page. So let's use one of the very interesting and easy tag of HTML. It's called header tag, h1. And I'm going to type here, welcome home. And then I'm going to save this. So can you see this now? Immediately we can see welcome home here. So this is the body of our HTML. Everything you see here is the body. So another way you can preview your HTML is do this, open with live server. I'm going to do that in your VS Code. And then I will show you here. Can you see that? Welcome home is showing up. Can you see the title we wrote? Home showing up here. So let's change the title to something else so that you can see. Let's say, instead of using home, my first web page, and type and close this. And then let's come over here now. Let me bring it here. Can you see now your title here at the top of the browser, my first web page, and then welcome home is showing. So you just created your first website using HTML. Is someone excited? Because I was really excited when I do this for the first time. I used Notepad and it was absolutely amazing. So this is just the beginning, right? There is so much more we can do, and we are going to continue to do that now. So now I want to show you something. What we just created now, if I go to the web, you can see index.html. You can also open your web file here. Just say open with Google Chrome, and then it's going to open the same thing for you because it's a web file. It's a website. So that is the way it works. So that we don't, if you have any question, at this stage, put it in the chat, and there are amazing people that are going to respond to you quickly so that you can get hang of it. Because you see, this structure here is what you are going to be seeing over and over and over again on every web page you are going to be building. So it's very important you understand them. So this structure, let me just remove this. Like, this is the structure of your web application every time. This structure here, the doc type, your HTML opening, the language, and you have your head where it has your title. This head tags can still take a lot of things. We're going to talk about it more. You can put your JavaScript, your HTML, your CSS, all of them can go into your head section. Any script you want to load in your site. Then we have the body, and body also can take a lot of things. Everything that show up on your website will be in the body. Images, video, audio, name it, whatever you want to name, you want to describe. Everything can be done in your body section. Are we happy with this? Can we move ahead to start creating all of the HTML tags that you needed? If you are ready, so type yes so that we can continue. Good. I don't want to leave anyone behind, so just try as much as possible to like understand it. Great. So don't be intimidated by these things. So just look at it the way it is. And another thing I want you to know is that your VS Code is going to be helping you as you type. So all of these tags I'm going to be sharing with you. Don't cram them. Like this doc type and everything. Let me just do it for you again. Don't ever cram it. So if I do like this, for instance, I'll just do exclamation. Can you see what is this is going to do for me? Can you see that? Like magic, it created everything that I just created by hand. It automatically generates them for me. And this is what I do every time if I want to start a new HTML5 project. Can you see that? So what I use here is called Eminent. So it's like an intelligence. So familiar, what is the part you didn't get? Can you just like understand like what part is giving you that you're not getting, so that they can help you specifically. So if there is any part of this that you're not getting specifically, if you can mention it. I'll do this again. If you type exclamation mark like this, exclamation, so you can see this image here. This image is amazing. I think it's inbuilt into VS Code. It's going to be giving you suggestion of HTML tags, so you don't have to cram them in your head. You understand? So because there is something we call developers experience, they don't want you to be cramming things. You understand? That's why I share with you all these resources. MDN, you have all of these tags explained. That's why we have documentations. So anytime you forget any HTML tags or how to do anything, so just think about it and then Google it and you have it. You can see again I have this created. So immediately I have all of these things. So I have my HTML lang, I have the head. So this head, we have this chassis, which means UTF-8. We have this, all of these, don't worry yourself too much about them, but just know that they are there. With time, you're going to understand why we have these viewports and all this content with device and everything. So and why we have them there. And we have this IE Edge compatibility stuff. So, but don't worry too much about it. There are some things that you don't really need to like worry about. Focus more on what will be my document title. I said my blog page, because that is what we are going to build today. And then in the body, we have talked about a particular tag and we are going to talk about it again. We call it what? The H1 tag. right? You can see I should type h1. It gives me the h1 and also give me the MDN reference. Can you see that? That's amazing. So if there is a tag you don't understand what it's doing, what you just need to do is click on this and it take you to the Mozilla Developer Network and it tell you all the reference and how it works. You understand? So the computer is actually here to help you. So now we have this h1 page. I'm going to, and then let's do this preview so that we are able to see what we are doing directly. Can you see that? So we have my blog page. Is that not amazing? So let me just zoom out a little bit so that we can have a little bit room for typing. Yeah, I think this is not bad. So these h1 tags, there are actually 6 of them. We have h1, we also have h2. So it's better for me to just show you all of them so that you can see the difference. And then we have h3, and we have h4, and then we have h5, and the last one is h6. So what can you notice? What I'm doing now, you can notice here. So you can see h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6. So it's the same way if you have used Microsoft Word to actually preview what you're doing. So you have using Microsoft Word to write your elements, your content tags. From the big one, you are starting your page title, h1, the subtitle, h2, the subtitle, h3, the subtitle, and that is exactly how our web page works. So that is the hierarchy on your page. So we have this h1 tag for heading tags hierarchy. So if this is your first, and then your sub tag is going to be h2, and then if you have another subcategory, it's going to be this, and that is how header tags work. And you can see that header tag is open h6 and then close with backslash h6, and anything you want to write can be in between those tags. Anything whatsoever you want to write will be in between those tags. So we've talked about we've talked about that. So the next thing you will be used to is called the paragraph tags, because we all use paragraphs on our website. So you see that paragraph tags. So your paragraph tags can be, let me just generate more content here so that we can see that we can have more content for our paragraph tags. So can you see that? So we have these paragraph tags. You can have multiple paragraphs. So this, paragraph 1, and then you have another paragraph with another content. So I was just saying another lorem is some to just I'll just type some gibberish here. So some paragraphs can be big, some can be small, but you get the idea. So you have these paragraph tags, and then you can have that. So those are the things that you are going to be using frequently during your stuff. So another example that I'm going to be talking about is article. We have an article tag. For instance, let's say this is an article. We can have One thing I want you to like understand very well is that we have something what you call semantic documenting. So you write your HTML5 in a way that is semantic, like is easier for people to understand and for yeah. So there is because like yeah, it's I want to expatiate on what Adebayo said in the chat on Zoom. What he's saying is that uh if you look at my blog page here, H1, H2, all of them start on a new line. You can see all of them, even the paragraph, they all start on a new line because we call them block elements. So block elements, we always take that block you've given to them. You know, they will take the block that you give to them and they will take all of them. So that is how block element works. So if you want to put anything below them, they'll just like take it. So, but then imagine in this lorem ipsum here, you can still create a break between them. Maybe at this UNDE, I want to create a break. So there is an HTML tag that is self-closing called break. And you can see as I'm typing, you can see the suggestion of all HTML tag. So that is the advantage you have when you are using an editor here, like this one. So you can see all of them. They're not even much. All of them are here. And you can use them as you want. And you can see them. You can see. So this is what I want to use, break. And I'm just like self-close this. So can you see immediately these have gone to a new line because of the break I had there. And then if you can add as many breaks, like maybe I want to just add more break so that it can feel like a paragraph. Can you see now? It's well separated very well. And that's amazing. So when talking about semantic now, what you want to do, so is, let's say we are describing a blog post, which we are still going to do. So, but I just want to like express different kind of HTML tags we have so that you guys can just see the output directly. And then we have done the break tag. So let's say we want to like do list, for instance. We have two kind of lists in HTML. We have the UL. So what's the UL? So sorry. So we have the UL list. Yeah, that's good. So and then we have this. So when I save this now, you can see this is an unordered list. You can see I can add more to it. I'll add, let's add like 3. So you can see that we have this unordered list listing out. So with the second type of list we have is the OL. So that is the ordered one. So we have the OL. Okay. I'm going to quickly okay. This helps sometimes in during tutorial. Sometimes it can just be a nightmare. So I don't want it like getting on my way. I'll share that with you timeline. Sometimes it just help me to quickly type so that you don't wait for me to be typing everything. But sometimes it gets ahead of itself, and that's not good. So we have this OL. Okay, so we have this. So this is going to be like when you have something that is orderly, like from 1 to 2, and then you have all of those things. So we have this, we have 1, we have 2. So at this OL, we have these things here, so they are really good. So another thing we are going to talk about is we have these structural tags that we use. So structural tags are like for defining like structures in your code. So we have section. In every program, in every document, you're going to have like a section that stands out or something. So we have section. So we're going to use all these in code, and you're going to see how they work. We have like main, we have like article, then we have filter, we have like header tag, we have like nav, we have aside, and we have age group and all. So all of these are different structural HTML tags that we have. So I'm going to quickly show you something that I like to show to explain to people how most of these structural tags work when you are defining your HTML page. So I'll just go to my browser quickly. So we're just going to do some drawing now. Some drawing. Is it drawing? Yeah, drawing. So when I want to draw, I use a program called Draw. It's really amazing. So I think I'm sharing this so that most of you can know it also and use it if you have not been using it before. That's amazing. So you guys can see some of my work in progress is okay. So I was asking some questions some other day, like when you code, when you are building a project, how do you start? Do you start coding HTML, or you start to visualize the idea of what you want to build? And that is in software engineering, is because it's an engineering, right? It's like any kind of engineering, mechanical engineering, architect, electrical engineering, a lot of them. So all of these engineering professions, before they build anything, they design them first. So before you build, the first thing you want to do is you want to design the idea you want to build. How do you want it to look like? And that's exactly what you see me doing here. You see, I want to build a calculator. Maybe we could build this in a project very soon, where we build a calculator on the web using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that is after you learn JavaScript anyway. We can try that. So, but what I'm trying to say here is that this is exactly how it works. Before you go further, you want to build something, but you want to structure it out. So let's structure out what we need to build today with our HTML. We said we are planning to build a blog. So the number one thing I want to do, you want to have on a blog, is the web page itself, the whole body. So this whole body of a blog, we can call it, okay, let's design first and then we are going to name all of the structures. So in that blog, when user comes, they're going to meet a session, which is the navigation session, right? So, and after the navigation session, what are they going to see? Maybe they are going to see somewhere that there is a title of that blog. And then they are going to see a big image of the story. And then they are going to see maybe a caption for the image. And then they are going to see what? All of the stories here. And that's it. We have a blog page. As simple as that. So that's the first thing you want to do when you are creating any application. You want to flesh it out. How does it look like? What are the structures in that web application? So now I can take this and take it further a little bit. This, let's name it now. The first outer box is called main. So that's the main. It's called main. That's main. So then after that box, we have this other box, which is the nav. Nav means navigation. So all your navigation elements are going to be here. So, and after that, this nav, there is this imaginary something here. So we have this here. We can call this header, because that is the title for the article, right? And then we have what? Image. So this is where the image is going to be. And then the caption for our image is going to be, let's say, paragraph, a p tag. How will I get this? Because it's so tiny. So it's going to be the p tag. And then in this image also, there will be the story, which is it will be an article. We can name this article. You can see we have an article tag. So we can say this will be an article. So in that article, we can have all the paragraph stories inside. So, and that's it. That's how you're going to tag your HTML pages. That is how you describe them. When you do this now, this gives you a mental model of how your HTML structure is going to look. And after that, you can then start to have your session now. So in the navigation bar, what do I want to be there? We have like home page, we have contact, we have about. So all of those shenanigans, like, we can put them here. That's our navigation. In the header, we can put web dev for beginners. So that is our header. That's our header, right? And then we can have an image that will still stay here. And then we can have the caption for the image here, people coding or something. And then in this place, we can have all of those stories about whatever we are doing in that place. So, can we translate this to a web page now? Are you ready to do that? Do we all understand this? If you understand what I just did, say yes, so that I can know that you are following me. So what I just did here is just a simple way of translating an idea that you have. No matter what the idea is, if it's a big website, if it's a small website, if you go to Facebook, if you go to LinkedIn, if you go to whatever site you see, you will see all of these structures in the website. So the job of a web developer is, you are not saying what ordinary people are saying. What you are saying is, wow, this is the navigation, this is the header, this is the image, this is the paragraph, this is the article, this is the aside, this is the sidebar. You understand? This is the footer. And sometimes I miss the footer out, but we can also have footers too. Can you please mute, for goodness sake, football lovers? Thank you. So we can have the footer also, where we can have copyright informations and all of those things. So let's quickly code this, and then we can quickly go to save it on GitHub and then put it on Firebase. So let's go. Let's clean up everything we have done so far. So, and before we go also, let's grab an image that we are going to use. So if you are on the web and you need image for your project, I will recommend this project for you that you can use on splash.com. Is really amazing. That's what I use. I type something else. Yeah, on Splash. It should be on splash.com. I can share it. Oh my goodness. Thank God it doesn't go to something else. Like, the internet can be crazy and then go to where you don't want it to go to. Yeah, so this is it. So you get free premium images on unsplash.com, absolutely free. So Draw is a free website. It's built with React. It's amazing. I use it for prototyping and quickly getting your ideas. So the first thing you want to do is, as a web designer or web developer, is to sketch your idea on paper, or you do it digitally, just like I have shown you. So these are very amazing skills to have, because in interviews they're going to ask you, we are going to do this, how are you going to do it? You won't just jump to coding. Anybody can code, but the ability to be able to have a process in which you can turn any problem to a solution is the most important thing you want to have. So let's say people coding. Let's look for an image of people coding. People coding. Okay. Internet is interesting. People coding. I don't know how that lady at the beach is coding. I don't know. That's not coding. Okay, so we are going to download this. And then I'm going to copy this for the caption later. So the image is downloaded, and then I can close this page, and then I can store that information. Okay. Yeah, don't worry if your system is slow. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry if I'm going too fast. I will definitely slow down a little bit. Okay, so before we move forward, we just copy an image. So let's see our folder structure first. So we have this web, we have this index.html we are going to be working from. Then let's create a new folder. Let's name it images. You see? So every image you are going to need in your website, let them go in that images folder. So it's the standard. That's how a lot of people do it. So now I'm going to get that image we just downloaded from the internet. If I go to downloads, okay, and then I'm going to copy this image. And then let's go to the desktop, web, images, and just paste this image here. So if I go here now into the image folder, you can see I can see the image here. Fantastic. So to make it easy to use, I'm going to rename this image so that we have a more shorter name. So let's call it techies. Those are techies. Yeah. So yeah, that's the image. That's good for our blog. Okay, we're ready to code. We have everything we need. we have our design structure that we want to create. We have the idea of what we have in our head, and then it's time for us to translate that amazing idea into code. Good. So what is the first thing we do if we are going to start building our HTML? We need our HTML structure first. So, and I've told you a shortcut to use. Just start with an exclamation and it's going to give you this, and you just press enter, and then you have all your HTML structure there. And then you can just change your title and make it what should we call our title? Techies blog. Techies blog. That's it. And what's the first thing we need? I told you about this main. This is the main of our website. So we have our main. You can see main is part of the HTML standard for the old. Sorry, my code is jumping over itself. So we have this main session. Good. So inside the main also we can have like this div. You could have seen this div before. You know, div and main are basically for structure, for grouping content together. So don't worry too much when you see them. So sometimes you have some content that needs to be grouped together in a particular way. Then we can use div sometimes to just put structure to those items. So, but right now what we want to do is have our nav. So in the nav we are going to have our UL, and the UL we are going to have our li. So I'm going to explain some of these things. You can see that it has done some magic for us, but I will just explain those very soon. And let's close this UL so that we don't have too much things to explain at the same time. Please help us mute so that we can. Okay, good. I'll just close this and I'll close this preview for now. Okay, very good. So what is happening here? This home, let's just make it .html. It's assuming we are using PHP, but we are using HTML for now. In the future, maybe we talk about PHP, or we'll be talking about JavaScript anyway. So now this is how it works. So we have our main, which is the main container, and in our main container we have our navigation container. Please, if you are not mute, try and mute your audio so that it helps all of us. I can't see everyone because I'm sharing my screen. Please mute yourself. Okay, so this is very crucial. I want everyone to get this. It's very important. So you have this your main. So if you over it, you can see what the main means. It's just like the header. So elements represent the main content of the body of a document or application. And then you have your nav. The nav elements represent a section of a page that links to other pages. Navigation, that's what it does. Very easy. And then I've explained UL and li for you. So the only thing that is strange here is this a tag. Now, the a tag is what creates the linking from one element, from one page to another. So if the element has an href attribute, then it represents an hyperlink labeled by its content. So this is an hyperlink that is created for us automatically. So if I click on this hyperlink, it takes me to the index page of this website. but we can create more. Maybe we have contact us, about us page, we have contact page, we have, maybe that's it. Let's have 3 pages so that we don't have too much. So we have 3 pages now. We have the home page, we have the about page, and then we have the contact HTML page. So if I click on preview right now, you can see all our links. Who is excited? Yes, so whatever you want to link to, you can link to something in this website, and also you can link to something external. That's what we call internal and external linking. So what we are doing right now is our domain linking, internal linking. But for instance, if I want to go to my social media account, then I can do an external linking. So maybe we do that later, but let's move ahead so that we don't waste so much time. So after our nav, what was the next thing that we have? If you remember, header. So we have, instead of just doing header, we can have create a section. And then in that section, we have what we call h1 tag. So we call this how to get started with coding. Did I spell it right? I've been doing terribly with spelling these days. It's not my lucky day to spell. Okay, I'm going to close this off. So now the next section is section. After nav, we have a section, and that section, what we want it to be is to group together our header tag and our image of that story, the title of our story and the image of that story. We want all of them to be here together. So let's just preview what we just did here. Now we have our link to the website, and then we have the title of that. So that's good. So how do we deal with images? Now, the interesting part. Then we can do the same thing we have been doing. There is this tag for images. An image element represents an image. That's exactly what it does. And that's it. As easy as that. So we have these images, and then, but the name of our image is not this. So if we save this, for instance, let me save this and see what happens. So if I go to this page now, you see nothing is showing up because we are loading the image wrongly. That is not the correct image name. So, but we can see this coding alt image. That is why it's very important. So you can see this. So if there is no image, this alternative image name that describe what the image is all about. So this is what we call an attribute. So every HTML tag can have an attribute. Like source is an attribute, alt is an attribute, href here is also an attribute of the a-link tag. So what we are doing here is that this is an image tag, but this image must have a source where it's coming from. The source is where? In our folder, in our images folder. But then we are naming them wrongly. So what we need to change the name and call it techies. So, but this image also, we can name it, this alt image should be descriptive of the image. Young if I'm going too fast, don't worry. So just young people coding. So we save this again, save it now, and hopefully we should be able to get something on the screen that resemble our image. So when we describe this now, we open this up. Do we have an image? Yes, we do. Hey, yippee! Yeah, So now we have our image. Is that not amazing? That's so good. So now we need to put the caption for our image. So there are different ways to put caption in your images. Some people can use ordinary P paragraph tag and you put your caption there. But for me, I would say that there is a better way to do it, in a more semantic way to do it, that represents a good coding practice. So you can use what we call, so now this is what we miss and we're going to do it back. So instead of just putting our image here by itself, let's create a tag called figure. Now, if we hover over this figure tag, it said the figure element represents some flow content, optionally with a caption that is self-contained. So an image always have a caption. Not always, but most time have a caption. And then you can see we have what we call fig caption. So, and what do we want to use? We want to use for what I copied before. I want to say so that we give credit to whom credit is given to the amazing photographer that did this. Or we could just like, don't worry, I'll just do everything. So, and then I will close fig caption and then close. We've closed figure before, right? I think we've closed figure here, so we don't need to close it twice. And then I'll give it this a save and then we should be good. Okay, so if I open up our code now and preview it, you can see, so because the image is heavy, that's why you see that it takes some time to load. So is this not good? We now have our heading for our blog. We have the image we are using with a good credit to the owners of the image so that they don't sue us for plagiarism. So, and that's it. Amazing. So let's close this now. So this HTML tag for the caption I copied from is provided by Unsplash. So it's the same thing you have seen, right? We have the A tag. So photo by this person, Lagos Techie, and then we wrap that in a link, A tag, so that people can click on it and go to this, follow this link. You can see this like linking to an external resources. The same thing with the A tag. So this is not a code you have not seen before. So now let me move a little bit faster because so that we don't waste so much time. So now I'm going to create the last section, which is going to be a section also, and then close that section. So what you see more in HTML is repetition and repetition of things, you know, because that's what you're going to be doing all the time. Repeat and repeat, and then we're going to have this article tag, and then in this article tag we are going to have this paragraph tag, and then in this paragraph tag we are going to have all our stories inside there. You can see that. So I'm going to do like 2 of this so I can look like a real story. Another, and then just do that so that it doesn't, I don't want it to get too boring typing all of this thing. Good. So I'll give this a good save now. So you can see that we have, now what do we do here? We have a new section that is for articles. That is the real story of our blog. And in that article we have just 2 paragraphs. We can have more depending on how big the story is. And that's it. And then if I preview this now, let's enjoy this. Let me give it more space and our image comes. The image takes a little bit of time. It's heavy. Okay, you can see that. Now we have our home page, we have our article, and then we have this, and then we have the stories. And that is how amazing it is to create a web page. Can you see? This knowledge here, you can apply it to any web page you want to create. And you can create amazing web pages. You understand? Just with the same flow. Most of the time, all of your web pages you're going to be doing is repetition of everything on this page. I'm telling you that. Once you figure out how to do it, you can just be creating everything on top of each other. You understand? And it's gonna be fun. So let's ramp this up, and I'm going to create the last session that is called footer. The footer session. So this is called footer session, and then I'm just going to do copyright 2021. Why are you giving me 2020? Techies blog. And let's give this a save. Do you learn something? If you learn something, say yes, let me know if this makes sense so that you can see. And that's it. That's the structure of our HTML. You can see that. You can see that we have our footer now. So let's do one big last preview. And let's go through them side by side. Don't worry, it may seem confusing now. So what I'll just say is that after tonight, rest a little bit. Tomorrow, go over this video, this section again, and not just going over it, even if it is with pen and paper, try to create a web page and with those tags on you. HTML, UL, this is doing this. Figure is for image. Image have an attribute of source, and source have an auth of image. I'm going to walk it through again, but let's just have one last show off of this. So we have our home page, we have our about, these are the links. And then we have this header section, right? H1. We have our image that have a captions, and we have 2 paragraphs. And then we have the last slide, which is our copyright in the footer section. You understand? This is the copyright. And that is the web page. So you can challenge yourself and just create these other 2 pages if you have time, the about.html, contact.html, and just put the basic information there. But what you want to know is that, so how to preview, can someone just explain it to Dr. Shalil how to preview when you create all of these things? I've said it before, just like right click here, open with live server. If you are in VS Code, it's going to preview it for you. Or if you don't get that, just go to where you save your HTML stuff. Like this. This is your HTML, right? Index.html. What you just need to do is right click it, open with any browser you have. If it's Google, if it's Firefox, if it's Mozilla, or if it's Safari, they will all open it for you automatically. So that's it. I know some of us may be tired, but before we go, I want to do one last thing, which I think every software engineer needs to do. Yes, so if the image shows successfully, your alt tag is not going to show. But for instance, if there is an error in the name of the image, can you see? We are going to see young people coding. So this is a very good best practice, because sometimes maybe your designer named the image wrongly and you called a wrong file when you are coding. Then your user can still have a very good experience. That, oh, there's an image here, but they can't see it, but they know that, oh, it's a young people coding. Okay, that's not bad. Aside from that, there are some people that are reading your website with some kind of assistant. So this thing is going to read it to them. Image, young people coding. You understand? So which is very good practice also, not just because of your own error. So we save that again. We are going to have our image back and everything is working fine. So I'll do a final wrap up of everything we've done right now in this HTML code. So if it looks overwhelming, please don't worry too much. If it feels like, oh, this is too much and everything is simple, most of the time what you are going to be doing is repeating. Look at this li, repeat. Section, repeated several places. Article, paragraph, repeated. So all of the main tags we use in this place is not even much. You can see the structure, HTML, body, main, and you can see section, figure caption. You can see that it's even breaking them down. All of these are standard. You just need to like understand the mental model, and once you understand it, everything are going to click for you. So I'm going to conclude with something that I feel like is very important for every software engineer. So, and that is JIT. So there's an HTML5 cheat sheet I'm going to send to everyone. So in case you forget any of these tags, just go through this. That like just have them open, on your phone or your browser when you are coding, and just practice. So the more you practice, the better you become. So don't think that because you just look at it once, you just need to like practice more. Understand? So the more you practice, the better you become. The more you practice, the better you become. So, and I don't know all of the HTML tags in my head. Sometimes I still reference Mozilla Developers Network to get answers to some of these things. So your image is going to be bigger in Olua because on my own browser the screen is small, so that image is very heavy, so it's going to be big. But next time we are going to do CSS. That's where you can use it to style your image. You can make your image this small, this big, this like this, so you can make it in whichever style you wanted. So what HTML does is just present to you the structure. So that's why you can have one HTML page and it can be styled in thousands ways. So that is exactly why CSS is different. So CSS is the one that's going to style your HTML, how beautiful you want it to be, your imagination. That's why you have to design it, and then you can structure your HTML, and then you can use your CSS to bring out your design. Good. So I will share that HTML. Is it cheat? Yeah, sheet. Yeah, cheat. Yeah, it's a cheat and the sheet. Yeah, so that's good. So I'll share it in the HTML app tag and there's going to be an assignment today also, so don't run away yet. There's going to be an assignment. Good. So I hope we all get that. So for styling, we're using CSS, and that is about that. So for the last bit, what I want you to do, I made a mistake in my email. So I didn't send everyone the right thing to install to be able to do JIT. So we are going to redo our JIT again tomorrow, because from now I was just coding. We are not committing anything. We are not doing any version control. So next week we are going to start integrating JIT into our workflow, because it's best practice. If you are going to be taken seriously as a software engineer, version control is very important. That's why I'm teaching you guys, like, this is something that you are going to pay $10,000 to go to a expensive boot camp to learn, and I'm giving you for free now. This is what you are going to pay a lot of money to go to any coding school to learn. So if you know it now, it's very important. So this is a JIT. So JIT is a free and open source distributed version control system. It's amazing. Just like I told you last week, what Git does is that, for instance, you are writing your project in school. You write one particular version, you save it, then you branch, you now copy from that one, you do some improvements, but you want to save it, and then you save it version 2, you save it version 3, you save that version 4, you save that version 5, you save that version 6. So in computer also, even in design, you have version 2, version 3 and everything. But at some point, all of this version gets messy. So that is where version control come into. So when you are coding, you can say, okay, I want to experiment with a new idea. No, there is no class tomorrow. Sorry, it's a slip of tongue. It's next week. Next week. If I don't have that one tomorrow, I'm gonna die because it's a lot of energy. But I need to rest tomorrow so that Monday is another work day for me. It can be tiring. Yeah, but it's good. At least, you have to impact and help a lot of people get things done. So, okay. So that's why, please, if every one of us can help me subscribe to my Facebook, YouTube channel, and please, help me subscribe, help me share with people. Let's get to 1,000 people on YouTube. So I think I pay for Zoom. I think we have to move everyone to YouTube at some point so that it's more easier for us to be able to. I can see all your charts. I can continue, because Zoom, I continue to pay for it every month, and it's a lot. It's still a lot of money though. So if we can go on YouTube, I think that would be very good, so that YouTube have a very good chatting platform and everything. Then we can ask all of your questions. So you can help us share, subscribe, and so that we can. Right now, if I snap my screen, I'm on Discord, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Zoom and everything. So it's very difficult for all of us to be on the same page. So I think next week, let's try. Maybe we should experiment for next week. Everything. Let's go on YouTube for the first time and see. I think it's going to be a better experience for everyone. So because YouTube is really, really good. So we experiment next week. So for YouTube. So this is version control. What you want to do is go to this platform and just download this. So if you are on Mac is showing, but it's still we can still, Zoom consume a lot of data. I think let's just go with YouTube. YouTube is really very good, and you can set the settings and everything. So now Git, whatever way you call it, versus GitHub. So now Git is the main software. You see, GitHub is like SaaS for Git. So it's like software as a service that provides you everything Git do behind the scene in a more organized way. So for you to have GitHub work locally on your machine in a more working way, like you have to have Git installed. Either you're using Windows or this thing, so get it and install it. So today we may not go into Git fully because of this, because I know a lot of people have not installed this Git, and it was my own mistake. It was my mistake. So I'm going to share it on Discord also, the link to this you have seen on the screen. Go to the website. I've shared it on YouTube, and I'm going to share it after this session also in my email to everyone, so that you have this install. So okay, so resources. If you can help us share the link to the YouTube, if you're on YouTube, I will share it also, so that we can have that. So let me just share this GitHub, and okay, so yeah, that's it. So if you have this installed, the next thing you want to do is go to github.com, and then you have to create an account with GitHub. So on your machine you have Git install, and then on your you now go to GitHub, which is the software as a service that provides you all of the solutions from Git in a more like, let me just call it like GUI friendly way. So which is really good. So you can see so many things. So I'm here. So you just need to go to GitHub, sign up. You can follow me. I've already shared my account also, and that will really help a lot of people also. So create this. We are going to do the Git committing tomorrow on next week, because by that time everybody will have the installation. But now let's just go back to Firebase. So do you have a Firebase account? If yes, if you have it, say yes. If you have a Firebase account, say yes. Firebase account, say yes. If you have a Firebase account, I said people should open it yesterday. Okay, so we have a lot of people who have their Firebase account. That's good. Okay, so let me, okay, I'll just get to the channels. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, you should, for this you need to get your Firebase account created, and then that way it's easier for you. So that's it. That's the link. So to everyone here now, just quickly help us subscribe to my channel, help me share. It's really help to be able to drive traffic, so that next week, subscribe everyone. I will set an account and create note. You can set a reminder on YouTube so that everyone can be on YouTube together, because Zoom is actually slowing a lot of things down on my own machine also, so that we can all enjoy each other in a more better way. Even the money I'm using to spend on Zoom, I can even spend it on StreamYard, because StreamYard is even more better and it's very smooth, very clear. You understand? And the data, the show, and it's very good. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cancel the subscription for Zoom and subscribe for StreamYard. So that way, even in the future, we can have more people. I can invite more experienced software engineers or people in the field. We can have conversation in such a way that you people can learn a lot, getting job, writing your CV, preparing for interviews, all of these things we are going to be doing. So it's not just about teaching you how to code. It's about being able to like let you know how to take advantage of all of these opportunities that coding offers. You understand? So if you go to creating an account, okay, I don't even know. If you go to the get started stuff, I think you see if you go to this firebase.google.com, you click on the get started, and then you can be able to create an account. So I think I've already created an account. I'll just go to the console. So you can just like, if you don't get it today, I'm still going to redo this again as we create more projects. So maybe by the time we start doing styling and all of these things. So if you have a Gmail account, it's easier. Just have use your Gmail account. You can just, it's part of your Gmail account. You can just have it. So you can create your project here, I think. So I'm going just to call this Techies blog. So then accept the terms and conditions. It's very easy actually creating these things. Just say continue. Enable Google Analytics for this project. I don't care anyway. Yes, so which region are you? I'm going to choose, so you can just choose your region where you are, because these are cloud service. So your region will determine where they are going to provision your website. So the problem with us here is sometimes we don't know where we are. Sometimes you have United Kingdom, sometimes you have England, sometimes it can be confusing anytime I want to choose where I am. Okay, it's United Kingdom. Okay, good. So then you create this and then you create project. So that's how easy it is. So it's going to create your, so when you talk of cloud, serverless hosting and everything, this is what Firebase is doing for you. There is no disadvantage of choosing Nigeria. So if you chose Nigeria, what it's just going to do for you is it's going to provision your server near Nigeria, so your website is going to be fast. So if you are in Nigeria and you put your website in UK, but most of your customers are browsing your website from Nigeria, then you're going to have a very slow experience sometimes. So, but then no matter where you are, it's still going to be fast. But just make sure that you put your stuff on there. So, and that's it. When you create all of those things, you have Firebase can do a lot of things. We use it at my office for most of our products. So it has authentication. You can see you have database which is called Cloudflare Store. We have crash analytics. It's going to show you if your website crash. You can monitor your performance, cloud messaging, A/B testing, and all of these things. So, but what we want to do today is what? We want to host our website. So hosting, that is what we want to do. So sometimes some of these things change a lot. So you should just be able to see what is happening. So this is where we are going, see? So this has changed from the last time I saw what is happening here. So that is one thing you're going to be learning also. Like a lot of things are going to be changing very fast in software engineering and web development. You just need to be able to like learn them and then you can move forward, you understand? So what we want to do, we have different types. You see authentication, database, written database, storage, hosting, functions, and they even run machine learning for you. And why I like to do this is free. Yeah, you host for free. My website is here and is hosted for free. I just pay for domain name, that's all. So and that's why I'm going to show you how to do this. And you can see hosting, how do I get started, and all of these things. So there are a lot of resources here, introducing Firebase hosting, and you can read all of these things and see how to get started. So they have very good documentation, you understand? So this is it. So for you to be able to do this, that's what I'm saying, that you are going to be using command line prompts at every point in your project. So don't be scared of command line prompts, especially for like these things like npm install and all of these things. So, and this is my bad again. For you to be able to use this npm install, you need to install another thing. Maybe we need to pause this again so that people don't get confused too much, because I didn't do my due diligence very well, because I didn't ask most of you to install Node.js, just like I didn't Node. So I didn't ask most people to install Node.js. So Node.js is a very important thing to have. You are going to be interacting with Node on the server side or on CLI. So CLI means command line interface, you understand? So we need to install Node too. I missed a lot of things, forgive me people. So I'll just share this Node to install Node for everyone. So don't worry, don't do this now because it takes a lot of time. So when we start next week, we are going to start from Git and then hosting, and then we move to CSS, you understand? So we've spent a lot of time today. I don't want to waste any more of our time, but all of the things that I have missed today, I will send it over to you so that you can prepare your laptop. And if you don't have a laptop, don't worry too much about all of these things. Yeah, So don't worry about them. We are definitely going to uh, go into them a little deeper. But it's better you have that knowledge. The most important thing I want from you is to make good notes, and when you have your system, you can use them. So after this conversation today, I'm going to uh, do a email to everyone. So all of these softwares that we have not installed, Git and Node, I will send you a link on how to install them. So that next week we start with Git. So the website we built today, we are going to push it on GitHub, and you see how the process works. And then we are going to host it on Firebase, and you see it live. So, and then we're going to start styling it to make it more pretty, like a real blog. Okay, or we could just build something else. I'm thinking of building a to-do application when we start using JavaScript, but we'll see what we are going to build. We could build a blog, we could build anything interesting. So does anyone have a question? So this time we speak, like you want to say something one-on-one, we can quickly do that. Wow, I think we spent a lot of time today. Does anyone have a question before we go?
Hi.
Recording stopped.
Hello, who's that? Who's speaking?
Hello, who's Taufik?
Taufik, okay, go ahead.
Alright, please, for someone who doesn't have the basic knowledge or any knowledge about the programming, where can one start? Because though I've been in the class from the beginning, but it looks like magic. So where can one start from?
So, that's what I'm saying. This is where to start. And it's okay to feel this way. If you feel like it's like magic, it's too much, what are they talking about? My goodness, this is too much for me. I don't understand what they are talking about. It's fine. It's okay. It's like when you are riding a bicycle for the first time. Okay, let me just give you this example that I want to give. When I started playing is it football game, right? FIFA, that kind of football game. So when I started, like, because I'm not like a game kind of person, so recently I started like 4 months ago, and everyone in the house will just be laughing at me because the computer will beat me like 5-0. They will beat me like 4-0, 6-0. I'm like, what is happening? What am I not pressing well? So, and then I would like, another thing they have scored again. But I keep on practicing. I will go and read what is goal, what is pass, what is jump. But then I can't move as fast as possible. You understand? So, but then I started playing every day. So after some 2 weeks, they started beating me like 3-0. Later on, it drops to 2-0. Later on, we started playing 1-0. You understand? So recently, I started playing 0-0. Like, I'm like, oh, they're not even beating me like before again. And one day I won 1-0. Then I played 1-1. I'm like, yeah. And that's how it is in practicing, in building projects. So it's not just about, this is the beginning. Like, I know that some people here that will be like, Peter, you are too slow. What are we doing? Because this is like beginning. You understand? So, but at the same time, I put some little advanced stuff so that it can stimulate your brain and make you feel like, okay, there's some things like, because when you get those hard stuff, it like spark you up. You understand? It can feel like overwhelming, but what I want to say to you is that don't give up on this. You understand? Go back to the video on YouTube, see it again. All those web pages that I created, try to recreate them. HTML page, add images, add paragraph, create different kind of pages. Go to a blog page, see how it is. Try to replicate it in HTML. You understand? And if you do that, you do a blog page, you do another page, you do it like 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Before you know it, you're like, oh, it's to be like a second nature to you. You understand? So don't say that I'm a beginner. Where will I start from? You are a beginner. That is why you are here. You understand? So have a growth mindset. Don't think that it's too hard, I can't do it. Even me, I can't do it like 15 years ago. I'm like, this is too much. But with practice, even today, I still learn every day. So there is not like someone that knows everything. So we just like add up. So and the thing is that the work have been done for you. So we are just like sitting down on the shoulder of giants. That is what web is, because web have massive APIs that is free, libraries, everything that is a lot of free that you can use to build your web applications. You understand? So practice, build projects. You understand? And you'll be good. Any other question? Any other question? If you can't join Discord, I think everyone should be able to join Discord. Practice, practice, practice. And don't be intimidated by all of these big things that you see in coding. Just get a little bit closer, you see how simple they are by the time you start practicing them. So HTML is the place you want to start from as a beginner. You understand? So, but I don't say that you should know everything tonight. No, you have to practice. You understand? You practice, and you are willing to do it also. You don't want to give up. Okay, any other question? So who is ready for today's assignment? So like I said, I have an assignment for us today. I have an assignment for us. If you are ready for the assignment, say yes, say yes, say yes. So for those that do the assignments, it's, I won't say now, but it will have a good consequences, because this journey, so this journey is an amazing journey. And what I'm doing for you right now is something that if you go to any of the best coding bootcamp in the world, the same strategy I'm using for you, they are going to be using for you. I've gone to bootcamp before. I spent like £12,000 to go to a bootcamp. It's not because I don't know anything, but because I just want to like get that experience, learn something different, because I was a self-taught person too. You understand? And aside from that, I've been to Udacity. I've spent like 500,000 naira when I was in Nigeria to buy a course on Udacity. You understand? And after that, I was employed by Udacity also. I worked with Udacity for almost 7, 8, 9 months as a mentor. So for students in Nigeria, not in Nigeria, Africa and Europe. And I've helped a lot of students where I have more than 4.96 ratings out of 5. So anything I'm telling you, I'm not telling you out of guessing. So I'm telling you what works if you want to like make progress in this software engineering journey. You understand? So, and that is what I'm teaching you. You don't have to be like expert, know everything, but you just need to be able to make effort and show the effort to people. And one of the ways that you can show people that you love what you are doing, that I'm not just in software engineering just for the money, but I'm passionate about coding, I love it, I know to create things, and I have to share my idea. This is the assignment that I take really seriously that I want you to do. Okay. The assignment is simple. You are going to go to medium.com. This is Medium. So this is my own Medium. But if you go to the Medium website, this is how it looks like. This is medium.com. So this is where a lot of people write. So it's like a micro blogging website. So you can see these are a lot of blogs. I write for all of these blogs. So this is Better Programming WW. This is Startup Today. So I write for them. I write technical articles for them. And part of the things that you need to start doing from day one, software engineering class, is writing. It's not just about the code, it's about writing. So writing is very, very important. And your assignment is to not just open a Medium account, you are going to write your first article. Your article can be about any topic you like. It may not be technical, it may be why do I want to become a software engineer, or any interesting things you read recently about computers, about tech, or the class we talked about today, HTML, getting started, or teach somebody about simple how to start HTML, how to write a blog page in HTML, write an article on, or tell your own story into, but it must be in the technology space, but it could be any topic whatsoever. So, and if you want to do this, go to my Medium page. Go to my Medium page and follow me. And then if you follow me, you will see all of my articles I've written. I write about different things. I write this one I write for like 5 publications on Medium. So Python in plain English, I write for them, which is really good. So this is my last article I wrote in July. My August, I've been very busy. That's why I've not written anything. I try to write at least twice or a month because I've been so busy at work. That's why I've not been writing lately. So you can see some of my articles I've written. So from something simple to something big, I even have article like just sharing my own personal experience. So in tech, and also some article on like life experience that I have. So, and that is what we are going to do. So after you now write this article, you are going to share your link to your article in the Discord page. So when you share the link to your article in the Discord page, so everyone you share your link, so you are now going to go to at least 10 people's article. You go there, you read it, you like it, and you put at least one comment. So you do it for 10 people that are going to share the articles, at least 10 people. So that way, what I'm trying to do that is that so that you people can build network and followers for each other. So if all of you write articles now, I'll create a channel called Medium where you put all of your articles there, and then you people go there on Discord and then click on those articles, you go and read it, you like it, you follow that person, and you start building your own network and collaborations. This is very small, but it's very, very important. So I will write a little bit more in details on this assignment and share with everyone. So I will really appreciate it. I've put a lot of time and a lot of effort into this, but this simple assignment shows a lot of will. And if you can do this, it will be amazing. Right now, I was recently contacted by Auth0. They want me to be one of their guest writers because they have seen some of my articles I've written. Do you know how much they pay for one article? They pay up to $500 for just one article. So now articles writing, technical writing is not just going to help you as a developer. It helps you get jobs. It make people know that you know what you're doing. It helps you to be able to like think and articulate your ideas in tech. So pick any topic whatsoever, either personal but that is tech-like, or your journey in tech and things like that, or something you like to teach, or your lessons or something. So and do that. So if you get the assignment, you can definitely write it down and share with your colleagues. Share it in Discord. I will send an email out again today explaining the assignment for everyone so that we can take advantage of it. So the last thing is that our next conversation is going to be on YouTube only. So let's try that because Zoom is very data consuming for a lot of people, and also maintaining both Zoom and uh, and YouTube sometimes it's sometimes a little bit hard. So let's just try and 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 all of us subscribe to YouTube and let's be on YouTube together. So that will go a long way to help us. So thank you everyone. I really appreciate you for coming. So let's see again next week. So so yeah. Does anyone have any question before we make it a day? Any more questions? So if you have any question, please and please let all of us join the Discord group. So there are a lot of people there that will help you answer any questions you have. A lot of people are there to help you. So that's why we create the Discord community. There are people willing to support you, help you. And on Discord, you can also have one-on-one conversation with people. So if there is something you don't understand, you can have audio chat also. You understand? So just be nice to other people than you know that yeah they know something, and then you can be able to like get their opinion, and then they'll be able to help you. So yep, I think if there is no question, thank you very much everyone. See you all on Discord, and I hope you all have an amazing week ahead. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very